be. And I will spend a lot of my time working with not just Republicans, but people who aren't in public life. And we've got smart people all over this country who want to make a contribution, who want to give something back. Let's enlist the best that we have in America and start acting like Americans again to solve our problems and make a difference.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Biden.
Let me give you a direct answer to your question. I'd start by ending the war, and I've already gained the respect of my Republican colleagues. The only person that's gotten 75 votes in the United States Senate on a plan to end the war, it's sitting in a drawer. It began the day that I get elected. Secondly, one of the ways you work in the House and the Senate is over time you gain respect. Find me a Republican on the other side that doesn't respect my judgment and doesn't think I tell them straight up the truth. I've worked with them. I've already done it. I would also include Republicans in my administration. Look, the basic premise you operate on, I reject. The vast majority of Republicans think this war stinks as well. The vast majority of Republicans out there think that our foreign policy is a shambles. The vast majority of the independents think that. Folks, this is not going to be that hard. This isn't pushing a rope. They're sticking with George Bush out of loyalty. But I promise you, I've already brought them along. I brought them along on Bosnia under the administration of President Clinton. I brought them along on the issue of dealing with arms control. I brought them along on the issue of the war in Iraq. So, folks, don't buy into this premise that Republicans, average Republicans and Republican senators, don't agree with this. They do. They're afraid to take on Bush. I will end that. I've already done it, and I would start with ending the war in Iraq with 75 senators.
Thank you, Senator. We're going to go back to Suzanne, but go ahead, Governor Richardson, very briefly.
Well, you know, tonight we've talked about Iran. We've talked about Iraq. We've talked about regimes that have not been friendly. I'd throw in North Korea. The cornerstone of my foreign policy would be diplomacy and negotiation. We would be not the world's policeman, but the world's conscience. All my life, as an ambassador to the United Nations, as a special envoy, I've brought people together as a governor, bipartisan solutions, as a congressman, as a Secretary of Energy. I'm going to answer your question specifically on the Middle East. Number one, I would have a Middle East peace envoy. This president is the only president that hasn't had one. I would base a Middle East settlement on a two-state solution, protection for the security of Israel and a Palestinian state. I would also look at adjustments in the 67 borders. I would also look at dealing effectively and efficiently and fairly with the settlements issue, with Jerusalem. I would do something else. I would talk to Syria. I would talk to Iran. It's all tied in a solution. It's called leadership and diplomacy. And to take these steps, you have to be bold. We're talking about electing a president that is going to need to repair the enormous damage of this administration in the last 8 years.
Thank you, Governor. Suzanne, go ahead.
Maria, would you stand, please? Give us your full name.
Maria Parra Sandoval, and I'm a UNLV student. And my question is for Senator Clinton. This is a fun question for you. Do you prefer diamonds or pearls?
Now, I know I'm sometimes accused of not being able to make a choice. I want both.
Do we get to ask any of the other candidates, or I suppose just Senator Clinton?
I'm for diamonds.
Okay.
It's the only thing shining up there.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, so on that note, diamonds and pearls, I want to thank all of the Democratic presidential candidates for joining us here this evening. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Thank you.
And that wraps up our debate tonight. This is the first presidential debate ever held here in the state of Nevada. We'd like to thank our hosts here at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and the Nevada Democratic Party for all their help and all their volunteers in putting this together. The next debate, by the way, in the race for the White House will be in less than 2 weeks here on CNN, the long-awaited Republican YouTube presidential debate in St. Petersburg, Florida. Anderson Cooper